heavyhockey.com or tune in at youtube.ca/heavyhockey. Make sure you subscribe.
Oilerslive podcast.
Want hockey podcasts? Tough Call Podcast, 99 Forever Podcast, fantasy hockey hacks, and replays of Oilers Live. Available anywhere you get podcasts. Just search for Heavy Hockey Network or go to heavyhockey.com. That's right. We need your help. We need your subscriptions. Make sure you subscribe at www.youtube.ca/heavyhockey.
Oilerslive podcast. Oilerslive podcast.
Hey, it's Michael. We're back for the third and final segment of Oilers Live on the drive home today. So it's 6 o'clock now in Edmonton. So most of you should be arriving home on those snowy streets. You got time to run from the car to your PC, MacBook, whatever it is you're on. Get on youtube.ca/heavyhockey. Heavy hockey. And there you go. You'll be able to join in the chat. Dash, we're going to talk some goaltending. Now, of course, those of you just tuning in now, yeah, we have to. Oilers lose 7-4 last game. Jack Campbell in net. Where are we goals against compared to the league right now? Got to be pretty darn close to the worst, if not the worst. Hurricanes. Hurricanes are there with us.
They've been awful.
Yeah. So we've got let's see. Only team worse goals against is the Hurricanes. They've had better offense through 7 games. Although at our going rate, we could be even with them on goals against if after the 7th game. We'll see. We will see. Goaltending's just not been good enough this year. Skinner, I thought Skinner looked shaky right from preseason on, which was unexpected. Now I thought Campbell. I look. It's going to sound maybe weird, and maybe not. Maybe to some of you it doesn't sound weird. I actually think Campbell's been all right, other than really bad defensive zone breakdowns. He's made some, pretty damn nice saves and kept the Oilers in a lot of games until it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, your thoughts? Out of Skinner or Campbell, who do you play next game? We know Skinner's going to be in that, I think, but who would you play? Who gives you the best opportunity to win right now?
I don't know. Whoever can stand behind a defense that can execute.
and how much
honestly,
of this is on
our
goaltending?
goalies? Right from the beginning of last year, dude, our goalies are exactly what our team is. I don't remember the last time a goalie stole a game for us.
Yeah.
Years. Like, I honestly mean that, dude. I remember
Talbot.
Koskinen pulling one off in Buffalo 3 years ago that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I remember that.
Honestly, like it, and it's going the way of the dodo bird again, because, you look at the stats that were out there on Twitter today. We're 11th in the league in giving up high danger scoring chances, which means we're in the top 33 percentile, the best third of the league, meaning we are pretty good at not giving up high danger scoring chances, minus our power play yesterday, which we seem to give up breakaways and off odd man scoring rushes like they were free candy Halloween, but we haven't been. And so, when we're 11th in the league in in doing a good job of suppressing them, but we're dead last in the league in high danger save percentage, that says something. Now, in order for a high danger chance to happen, the team in front of you has to allow that to be created. So that, is that all on the goalie? Of course not. Of course not. And I understand that. But get us a save. They have a 606 save percentage on high danger scoring chances this year. And there isn't another goaltending tandem in the entire league that's below 700.
Yeah.
So even the second worst goaltending tandem in the entire league, and it's probably Carolina, is in the at least 700 to 800 save percentage when it comes to high danger scoring chances. We're 606. So yeah, it's a team game, and yeah, the team in front of them is giving them opponents these chances, but our goaltending sure isn't bailing us out. With that said, you mentioned Campbell. You mentioned he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been great either.
No, he's not lights out
His
for
best
sure.
period as an Oiler, like Jack Michaels alluded to yesterday in the second period. Kid stood on his head, but what was the final result? Like, it reeked of Koskinen back in the day. Great, he made five alarm saves or 5 bell saves, but if you're giving up a touchdown, does that matter?
Well, here's I think about one particular instance last night on the power play. Kaprizov has those 2 one-timers from the side, and really it's Kaprizov that missed. It wasn't Campbell that aided that. I mean, we've had Leon Draisaitl in that same spot take shots, for ever since Leon Draisaitl was on the power play. And never do I see the goalie so far out of the way that he's got to jump back like that. Very rarely.
That's right.
So I did wonder last night, and I thought about that. I'm like,
and they should have been scored on 5 seconds later when the post got hit anyways,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. But so
when you're jumping back and forth across the crease,
how is Campbell so far out that he's got to jump that far?
You and I both interviewed Joaquin Gage last year, and what did he tell us?
Yeah, he said there's
the best saves he ever made in his career hit him right in the middle of the chest because that meant he was in position. If he had to make a Ole glove save that was headed for the top corner and he had to dive across the crease, that meant he made a mistake in the first place to be in that position.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, to me, that's a bit of a challenge, right? But not even a bit of a challenge. It's a big challenge. And you know what? Thanks for those stats on the high danger chances. I didn't realize that. I do think Campbell's looked better this year than he looked last year so far. I do think he needs more help on defense for sure. That one, that we keep talking about where, I don't know who scored it in front of the net, turns around and roofs it. That's tough. Like, he's one-on-one, it was a hell of a play, right? And there's nobody there to help out Campbell at all. So I'm not going to blame him on that one. I'm not going to blame him on the off speed, weird play that happens. But I would like to see him. He does need to be better, but it just speaks to this whole team, which everyone needs to be better, right? But you're 100% right. Like, this team needs
clip that
a goalie. Yeah, I'm sure you've already marked the time down. This team needs a goalie that will steal a game once in a while, right? And we've not.
Yep.
Yeah, we haven't had that.
And that's a concern I have. I really think the personality, right? Like, Soup's second nickname is Ned. It's because he's Oakley Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
Right? He's that personality. And and given that, I've heard reporters say that Skinner's the nicest guy they've ever talked to in their life.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You need you need an even keel guy. You need to be a cool cucumber. All those things in goaltending are really important. But I think, like, we have those guys, but we don't have the guys with the blinky thing that erases your memory the next night. Like, we've got an emotionally fragile goaltending tandem that generally plays along with how the team is playing. It goes with the ebbs and flows of the team in front of them. When the team in front of them is playing bang on, you're going to get solid goaltending. When the team in front of them is accidentally having self-inflicted gunshot wounds, the goalie has a few as well.
Yeah.
I really think that that's a concern for me, that we don't have that Patrick Waugh that can mentally separate, go into a zone, and just steal game after game.
Positionally, these guys need to be better too. Like I keep thinking about that. Like this Kaprizov at the side. Like he's so
The
far.
execution's
Yeah.
not there. Yeah.
He's so far out. Like to dive back. Like what's gone wrong that you got to dive back that far? I know it's a good pass. It's a good play. But there's no. Yeah, you're right. Like Gager, he said it on the show. He's like, if you're having to make those highlight reel saves, then you're out of position. And there were a couple highlight reel saves by Campbell last night. Now, yeah, Glenn says, I thought Campbell was going to steal one yesterday, but he couldn't overcome all the defensive errors. I said, I think Campbell's played reasonably well. I just think he's got to be better. They both do, but then the whole team needs to be better. Angel was talking about Aiden Hill, right? I mean, here's a guy that comes in out of nowhere, right?
How he broke the mold and made GMs think in a different way. And, my response back to Angel there is it's not Aiden Hill. It's the fact that the Vegas Knights won a cup with 5 goaltenders in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's different personnel in Vegas. We got to remember that, right? Like way different personnel, right?
I like Jeff there. I'd rather have a nutcase with a 1.25 goals per.
Yeah, I mean he's right though, right? Like
that's hilarious. Well, maybe he's making a alluding to my Patrick Waugh comment being the nut bar, but yeah, fair enough, right? I mean, Dominic Hasek wasn't a normal guy, but he could hit the zone, and I don't know, something to be said about that position, man. There's a big mystery, and people say it's voodoo for a reason.
Yeah, I mean the Oilers obviously they've got to play better all around. So it's at this point, right? It's just like Dave-O said earlier about talking about Bouchard, right? Like we're 6 games into the season. We've seen some nice saves by both goaltenders, and we've
6 games into his zone defense career.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To that effect, I mean, these guys, the goalies haven't played that much so far. Campbell's made some great saves. He's also made some crap saves, or I guess you can't make a crap save. It means you didn't make the save. So, I mean, that's he's put out some pretty bad, spots there. And I don't know. I mean, this like another 7-goal, another 6-goal game, another 8-goal game, right? The only positive is that in the Vancouver game, they were both awful, right? Like, that's like at least they're consistent, right? Yeah. Thoughts on Glenn's comment here? Did you think Campbell was going to steal one yesterday?
For sure. It did feel like that. It shocked me a little when Michael said that was Campbell's best period as an Oiler. Not this season, as an Oiler.
Yeah.
So made me think. Went, yeah, probably was actually. And then a tie game fell apart. Right? It did kind of almost, it was a bit like the playoffs.
Has anybody
Honestly,
on the Oilers actually
in 90 seconds we fell apart?
Has anybody on the Oilers team this year seemed right to you, though? I mean, even Connor McDavid, like, despite the points he's putting up, and Leon Draisaitl, despite the points he's putting up, like, just doesn't feel right. Like, the power play's not clicking the way it normally has. Like, these guys, like, something just feels off. Like, Connor McDavid, how many times has tried to zoom in through the defense, and last year we'd see him get through at least 50% of the time, and he's just not getting there, right? But he's still Connor McDavid, so at 50%, he's better than 90% of the players, right? Like any talk you were talking about, the Canucks playing against the flu, games 1 and games 2. Like, is there something going on, from just a health standpoint in the room that you've heard? I mean, something
I'm gonna
doesn't.
answer you
Yeah.
with a hot take,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a
Let's
real
hear it.
flaming white hot
That's what
take.
I wanna hear right there.
You got a drum roll?
Mm.
I don't know, buddy. I don't know if I believe in this. I really don't. But the fact that it's entering my mind space and the fact that I have mind share put to this topic in my own head allows me to believe that maybe there's a smidgen of truth to it. But if you want, you can also just mute me and hang up. This honestly feels like they've given up on the coach. This smells like they want change. This reeks of a team that doesn't want to play for Sheldon Keefe anymore. That's what this reeks like. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I believe it. Hit the mute button if you want, but I'm not. I hope to Christ it's not going on. But honestly, I get a bit of a vibe that the Oilers have already given up on this coach.
All right. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a take. It's a hot take. It's one you know,
It explains things. Like
yeah.
it's just it touches all the boxes. Everybody's off. You just said it. Why? I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what's going on in the dressing room. We don't know the conversations. We don't.
Yep.
There's a lot of
There's
things
no
we
way
don't
to
know.
know,
So all
right?
we can do is speculate, and this is nothing but that. No inside information. Gut feel. Gut feel. This team looks like a team that either doesn't agree with the system they're playing, or they've given up. I'm sorry.
All right. All right. Let's hear your comments in the chat, youtube.ca/heavy hockey. Do you think the Oilers have given up on the coach? Now, obviously, Dash suggests this is a possibility. He's not going with it,
I don't
but it
know.
is a possibility, right? I mean,
I don't know.
there is, Quaddy even said, right? Like 97 not leading the league in rush chances. That's off, right? The just the way they're going after the system, that's off, right? You said it last night in our group chat, and you were being sarcastic, and is all of
Me?
these things you can check off are coaching things, systems, right? Like bench
Mm-hmm.
miners. A lot of these different areas are coaching challenges. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you, me, or anyone rational really wants the Oilers to move on from Woodcroft at this point, right? Like we've seen enough coaches in Edmonton. We want this to be the guy. In fact, Woodcroft's a likable guy, right? Lotsy, this team needs a shrink more than anything. Burden of expectation and hearing about how their cup favorites has gotten to their heads. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Total possibility on that theory. I can't disagree with that possibility at all.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you want to join in the chat again, youtube.ca/heavy hockey, make sure you hit subscribe while you're here. Lots of different thoughts. I mean, there is. So I think though, when and it's not a rocket science experiment here, but something's off with the Oilers this year, and there's a lot of things off. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but put your finger on what it is. Right, is the question, and how do we do that? I mean, one suggestion is it's the coach. One suggestion is it's goaltending. Another would say it's defense. Some people would say it's utilization, right, in the forward group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been this concerned in the last 2-3 years? Are you concerned? I mean, we talk about it. There's no time to panic, but are you concerned?
It's a different concern. 2 years ago was an absolute roller coaster. We'd never been on a season of streaks like that. There's 10 to 15 game chunks that were either miraculously awesome or miraculously horrible. In those peaks and valleys, I saw silver lining. And I'll take this all the way back to what we said when we started the show and opened this, was that I'm having a hard time seeing. I'm not panicked about the record. I don't care about 1-4-1. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
0 do I give 2 Fs about 0-4-1 or 1-4-1. It's about the way they're executing 1-4-1 that has me concerned. And that is a different concern than what I've had in the past. So have I ever been this concerned? I don't know. But I'm certainly feeling a unique type of concern.
All of this, and this is a team that we were like jazzed about because they all got there early for a captain's skate, right?
Mhm.
They all seem to be
Left
on
no
board.
stone uncovered. Right
Yeah.
to the top. Jackson hires an analytics team.
Yeah.
Jackson gets right. Like we get rid of the potential distraction of Bob Nicholson. We've no stone uncovered. Captain skate, scouting and Connor Brown, and like everything we were going to do was going to be the right thing. That's what makes this a little bit more hard to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. Again, clip that. Mark the time down. I said it.
Twice?
Yeah.
Twice in a day.
Twice in one day. Twice in one day. Dash has got it. Dead on.
I'm going to highlight this comment. I don't know if it's worth talking about, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't. Michael Summerfield's been in a few times here. I don't maybe Adam Ernie's got some pictures on this guy, but he's been after it. So let's address it. We haven't said the name yet, and it's out there. He's made some glaring mistakes. There are some points and times in the limited ice time he's had that he doesn't look like he fits in. We got Sam Gagner, got 2 assists in the bake last night. Lavoie's been good. Bourgault's been fine. Can I ask you this question? When are we at the point where we see a potential call up?
Well, we're there, right? If not for the fact that, it's going to happen in the next
So do you
week.
bring in Sam for the Heritage?
Oh, that would be something else, wouldn't it? That would be great.
Would-
It would be
I mean,
great
I'd
to
rather
have
see
him.
him there than Adam Ernie.
Yeah. Here's
No
my
offense
thought
to
on the whole
Ernie's.
Ernie thing, because this comes up all the time. He's a 4th liner, right? Like, let's worry about Ernie
Yeah,
when
but
the
look at Vegas' 4th line.
yeah, but let's worry about Ernie when the top 3 lines are producing, right?
Well
Yeah.
said. Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yep.
that because
Yeah.
that's not it. Like, that's not the guy, like he doesn't
Yeah.
tip the scales in our favor right now. I mean, even if we put Lavoie in or Bourgault or Gagner, they're not going to tip the scales.
Yeah.
So, I look, Michael,
It's like Dursa
Yeah.
said earlier, placing Janmark on accountability is really low on the
it
list
is on the list low.
and so is this. Yeah,
So
I
is
agree.
this.
Well said.
Now, having said
All
that,
right, I just wanted to address
he's
that.
right. He's 100% right. I think it was the wrong move. I think there were guys that were more capable. I think everybody was surprised when we heard Ernie was the guy. Right? Well, I mean, do you think Ernie was going to be the guy? I didn't think
No.
he'd be 12 forward.
I thought Sutter was going to be the guy, but he decided to retire.
Yeah,
so.
Sutter retired, but yeah, at least Lavoie played his way onto the lineup, right? Like he had a hell of a preseason, and the strange thing is, I don't know how much of this is, Woody's decision, how much is, Holland's decision, whatever, but Holland talks about guys playing their way into certain situations. Lavoie played his way onto the lineup and didn't make it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, there we go. Mike, like Summerfield's back at it. He's 4th liner, but it's about getting marginally better. I don't disagree. It's just we need to get like substantially better.
Sure, it's something to address. It's one of the things to
it is
address,
one
but
of
it's low on the list of
and I don't
priorities that are going to
disagree.
make a significant difference.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but and then, if you're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks for change, then I don't mind that being a small strand of spaghetti, but there's a whole bunch of other pasta we got to look at first.
Absolutely. Hey, we got 5 minutes left. I want to thank the people that have been in the YouTube chat tonight. Been great. Lots of lots of different stuff on there. Obviously, this is as a hockey fan, as an Oilers fan, this is kind of a tough time to go through and just look at this team and know, at least I hope that the Oilers got enough talent to do that 18-2-1 again. But it just and thanks, John, for saying that. Here's the thing is, it's a tough time for Oilers fans. If you're not at the if you're not asking for the coach to be let go, you're asking for a different system, or you're asking for different lines or different goalies or a different player to play 12 forward, right? Like there's just so many different things right now that you could point your finger at. And at the end of the day, the team's got to come together, play the system that's in front of them, and there can't be any more excuses. It's 1-4-1, and we're going into we're playing the Rangers tomorrow night, and then I think it's a big game, the outdoor game. This is a good chance. Hopefully, McDavid has a shot at playing, I think, is what they're talking about. We'll see if he does. Nobody would be surprised if he, comes back and plays. But,
At least the power play or whatever, right?
So anyway, that's where we're at. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm going to let Dash talk a little bit, but I want to remind you later on this year, February 25th, later on in the season, February 24th is a Battle of Alberta in Edmonton. February 25th is our annual charity hockey game in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. Very important cause. And last year, with another organization, we raised how much did we end up raising? Oh, it's a lot.
Oh, geez.
25 grand?
Close to 30,000. Yeah.
Lots of money, and it's needed money for these guys. So put that in your calendar
I just know
right
who the
now.
leading fundraiser was.
Yeah. Put put that in your calendar right now, February 25th. And then make sure we do have the hockey game. We typically get some of the Oilers like the mascot and Rob Clark to sing the anthem, and it's a good time. And it's going to be at the downtown community arena. So we're starting on that. And if you're listening in and you want to be part of the committee, reach out to me on Twitter at Oilerslive. So there's all of that. Again, I'll say thanks to the guys at Edmonton Sports Talk for letting us in on this drive home tonight. And then last but not least, I'll give Dash the last word, but make sure you tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Mountain, for the second half of Heavy Hockey at Night, which is the Fantasy Hockey Hacks guys. And they're going to have a good time. Having said all of that, I'm going to pass it off to Dash for the last word tonight. And I'm looking forward to an Oilers win tomorrow night against the New York Rangers. All right. I'm putting myself on mute as the dog barks in the background. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Dash is up with the last word.
Here, brother. It's been great to be you and Merlin's sidekick tonight. This evening, on our prime time drive home. I'm going to make this last word a little bit of, let's quotation finger family related. And it's going to be about giving some thanks. So we're pretty damn proud and pretty damn happy to be on Edmonton Sports Talk and to be a friend of Edmonton Sports Talk and given this platform. We're not mainstream media. We're fans first. I think our friends at the Cult of Hockey said it best and say it best, and by the people for the people. And we've always prided ourselves on being fans first, not experts first. So take our opinions with a grain of salt, and the fact that we're coming from our heart as best as we can. The next family thank you is the Heavy Hockey family. Everybody that's contributing and allowing for our momentum and growth. Lotsy's writing. If you haven't seen the special on CTV about Brett Luchansky and Surveyor Brett's family, please go do it. He's an inspiration to us. And as well, to finish off, a thank you to my family over at Love Pro Wrestling. I live a second life, and I'm doing some color commentating for those guys. There's a show tomorrow night, Thursday, at the Rec Room, another one the next night, and I hope to see you there. Good night, everybody.